They call us special meeting. Do we need to go ahead and approve this agenda?
Yes.
Do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Joint discussion with the town of Robbinsville.
Said court.
Yeah. So who's
Court.
Did you have something else you need to do?
We had an expenditure. If you want to go ahead and do that.
it was?
I had it on the agenda, what I called you about today, so if y'all want to make it official, go ahead and make a motion to approve
On
it.
the health department.
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor? Okay. Got that out.
This meeting, we're just wanting to get together and discuss and ask if the county would come aboard with us in hopes of bringing back some more activity on Main Street. We have applied for a loan, and if we could get the backing of the county, we could make it bigger. Being a multi-use project, be utilized as a farmer's market, schooling through the health department. They've showed interest in it. Also, I've spoken with some of the teachers at the school, and they would be was enthused about maybe using it as a day trip that they could get out of the classroom and bring it to open space, along with your street dances, utilize it for weddings or whatever. And we have had a spot to begin with down on Main Street there, but we have come in hand with the Couty's, Herb and Claudine, and Dirk and Dave, and they have made that they would donate if something could be built. And it's if you have more than one municipality or whatever adding to the project, it can be a bigger and better thing for the county and the town. Bobby?
I guess the biggest thing that we're really interested in is trying to get stuff start growing from here down, and then sort of catch the whole part of town up. If we can bring some life back up in the main part of town, I think we can start seeing other stuff coming back to life down through there. Everything's sort of bypassing the whole part of town right now. With the outdoor community center, and I see it being a community center in itself one day. If a church group needed it or whoever for function. But the main thing we come here today for is probably just we'd like for the county to run with this thing. We, point somebody to be over it and work with the Couty family, because we want to name this thing after Claudine. She's alderman here in the town one time, and what we want is y'all to design it. And we figured out that we can save about $32,000 by doing the sewer and the water ourselves on this journey. So, the town decided we're gonna put that part of it in-house. We can do that. If we can get with Donnie, I know Donnie's busy. Site prep, y'all got a big track hole. Might be something we can do ourselves, the site prep and save money. But as far as the front and the features on it, I'd really like the Couty family to, what they want it to look like for her. And I read in the paper last week, I looks like we've been at war and don't work together and want to fight all the time. I don't know where the egghead is now.
No,
I'd like to tell him something.
He won't show up.
I think we all work good together and come up with ideas. That's one thing, and honestly, with our limited knowledge, and I think David Hype would come in as just a prime person to beat every dollar out of him he could. And Eric Couty, working with David too, if there's a dollar out there, he will find it, I'd say, or he will keep it. He can thump McGill's pretty good. Spending the money wisely would be the thing. If y'all contribute $100,000, we'd be right at $300,000 with the project. We've got $201,000, I think. Put in it. Down the road, if we try to market something out of this site, like the farmers market, what's hurting Graham County right now for a cash crop is everybody's setting up all over the roads, sides of the roads, and they don't have a place they can sell bulk. You know, we've talked with Asheville about having bulk sales here. So any individual that wanted to grow a cash crop through the summer months would have a place to come. Now we'll have to find a buyer. Clay County, they buy their own and they put it right back in. They've got a deal worked out at Asheville where they buy. With USDA over there, what they're doing for the school system is demonstration gardens on the side. They're neat. I mean, they're really neat. Kids come out and plant them. They come out and take care of them every once in a while. Here in Graham County, our USDA can't come over and really teach many classes. The school's going to let them come 3 times this year. And, if we have a good grant writer, like Clay County has done, they've written a position for 3 jobs to do agriculture classes. And it went to the school system. Now, it don't have to go to the school system. The town or county could do it after hours, after school for children, if we had somebody to teach them. Randy Collins is a big asset to this thing. If Randy had something to build off of, I mean, he don't have nothing to build off of on that side. I don't know how big you can get this money. They've got a lot of money, but it's going to take Randy to get it.
So you've talked to Randy?
I have. I talked to him and he expressed, a lot of interest in it, what he could do. And finding people that will work a little bit in the summertime to make a little extra income might be hard too. I don't know. With no jobs and nothing going on here, if I had to do it, I would do it. I mean, it would be something I wouldn't care to do. But we're here for ideas. Our little feeble minds just went as far as we could go with ideas. But I think we've got a good team here that could go ahead there.
I guess we were curious, has anybody approached the Millsaps about that building? That was a deck sale, if I've ever heard one.
That's...
And I guess,
Yes.
is there a price for it?
Cash would talk. I don't know what he would take for it, to be honest with you. He come out with just an outrageous number one time. It was like $80,000.
Look, I
So
think
tear it down and get out there, man.
Pardon? Yeah.
it's I think the tax value was 26, and probably Irma's a little high on that. But I mean, for us, one thing we'd like to try to help with, if we could, would be either, obtaining the building, if they would be reasonable and getting rid of it, or, for goodness sakes, at least permission to clean up around it and paint it or something, so it doesn't look like what it looks like.
Yeah, that's got to be done. That's just something that has to be done.
One of those steps is failed the stabilization underneath the top. Need to be checked before you do much.
Has David Hyde evaluated that building at all?
I don't think so.
Might be an option to have him take a look at that.
I'd be, if they'll let you. I mean, I guess you just gotta,
Oh,
if they
okay.
wanted to rent it or something, you know, he'd probably have to go and do an inspection of it.
Who owns your property?
Jimmy
Jimmy's
Millside,
coming over there.
I guess they won't.
It's kind of tricky to talk to somebody about the property, and I'm a big fan of property rights. And that's why, if, at the end of the day, if there was nothing other than just permission to make it look better, you know, because, I mean, Graham County has never, or the town been noted for going and taking people's stuff. If it's a hazard, that's a different issue entirely. And David Hyatt would be the guy
Yeah.
to evaluate it, but unless they are doing something with the building, I don't know that there's anything in place that lets you go and really comment a lot. I don't recall
We
anything.
can't find it. You know, the other issue on this thing is you know, there'd have to be some wording in a contract with y'all. If that facility was ever used for anything else, blah, I don't, you know, that it just couldn't be, just for what we specified for. That if county or town wanted to do something else in it, it really can't be done. And even through USD, if it ever went up for sale, first thing we have to do would be pay back the grant. Then the rest of it would go to the Couty family if it ever went for sale.
Well, that
The
part's
county or
not
town didn't want it.
a concern to us at this point. We just, in going into it, you want to do it as well as it can be done.
But I really do, you know, I know we ain't gonna be able to Taj Mahal with that kind of money, but I think we can do something nice, and I think we can do something that gets a little activity stirring in the community. I really think we can.
So what's your time frame, just so we can kind of have an idea?
We're ready to go now on our part. We can start anytime. And what we want to do is, I say y'all and somebody with the county, somebody with the town, get with McGill's, sit down, design this thing, butt heads with them, jewel them on their engineer fees, anything we can do to save money to put in that project. And anything we could do in kind as town and county. I think with the preparation, the site prep and you know, the sewer and water not coming out of it, that's gonna give us more money in the building. And of course, anything y'all wanna do,
Have you got that design, Bobby, you had?
I don't have one with me. I don't. I wish I
Is that the only thing?
Ryan Shirley got mine. He was going to look at it.
Is that the only thing that Mike's done so far?
That's all. And the reason we done that is
Just to have
Just
something.
have a,
just to have an idea, but we wanted your all's input and what you might want. You know,
Well, I
if
thought
we
that
want a kitchen in this thing, if we want an outdoor kitchen in it for a function, and what I'm seeing, you know, it'll free the community building up. You know, if you, and it'll free the school up. The school, it's hard to do a function at the school over there.
That's what I was thinking on the picture that you all had. I thought that looked real good. If Dirk and David could look at that and see if that's what they.
I gave him one of it. I gave him one of it before.
But what I'm getting asked is where it's going to be and what it's going to look like. And I believe if you put that picture in the paper, that the people will get behind us.
I think so. Well, I've got 200 if we needed. That would be behind it tomorrow. If we need folks, I mean this.
Yeah, but that's, I mean, that's good, but we need
Everybody that will, yeah.
And if that picture was put in the paper and shown the people, most people, a lot of you younger ones, well, ain't none in here, Kim.
Thank you for looking at me, Raymond.
I
Thank you very much.
was looking at Steve.
I tell you, we got some property that the town, we got some property that the town owns down the hill, but I just don't think it's the right place. I don't think I think if you start up here around the courthouse and get it looking good, some of your neighbors will shame into fixing the building. I think this is the ideal spot on top of the hill to start it growing, and you know, since the post office moved out of town, it basically died. That was a fact. Nobody had much business coming to town. if we had a post office back up here or urgent care up here or something, it would, you know, it'd give you an idea of people's gotta come to town for something.
What about long-term maintenance? And
I
keep
tell you
you
what,
on
I'd like
that
to
be a
see-
joint thing with the county and the town, or are you gonna take it on, or what's your vision on that?
That's up to this bunch right here, how we wanna do it. I think the fees on it, whoever's gonna keep it up, I think we should figure a split on them somehow. I mean, that's me, you know. I think on the town's part, I don't speak for all of them, if we make enough to make the payment on the little loan, is all we're worried about. And we'll do that Friday nights, too, traveling tourism. I like to see traveling tourism, both of them up here. Everything up here, people have them come up here and getting brochures, and I'd like to see both T&Ts in the same little building somehow. I think Millsap's building gone and one on the corner would be a beautiful place. I do. I mean,
How complicated or expensive could you get a price to have another picture created with the Millsaps building gone? Because they're just photoshopping when they're doing that. And then I'd like to know what it costs to build a model of it before it was ever built. And maybe, I mean, if that's something you need help with, maybe I could help with that cost. Because that just shows you a lot more. And I think what's going to come from that is everybody's going to see more of the importance of addressing the other building, if there is a way to do it. And we're not opposed to putting money into helping with that. I don't know who, I mean, you're sparkling personality, you may be the best one to talk to. Millsap family.
I'm a firm believer, render under Caesar what Caesar's.
So, they ain't rendering you Caesar?
I'm not the one to do that. I'm not.
Oh, Mark sent you one, Jackie.
But, you know, the first thing he's gonna have to get off these ridiculous prices. I mean, that's just fact. I don't care if it's my daddy, if it's ridiculous, it's ridiculous.
Well, I think all the commissioners is for it. And I think one of our concerns is we would like to get into the next budget cycle on account of our budget, but if we can't, well, we can't. Because we never budgeted for it.
You've got the budget woman right there.
But it would be,
What kind of timing are you looking at?
Well, I mean, we did not budget for it, but I'm really excited about it myself. Because I think that is a very important first step in revitalizing the town, uptown, I call it uptown. And what I had talked with a couple of commissioners is looking for areas in our budget where we may have thought something was going to cost a little more than what it did. We've got one particular expenditure we thought would be like 100, it's about 90. So I've got 10 there, and just kind of looking and seeing where we could front some of the cost, maybe this budget year where we can, and then I told the commissioners I've spoken with about it, then if they're good with it, then make the commitment for the tail end this next budget year when we build the budget, if that makes sense. If we can figure out, you know, once you guys start working the project.
I don't think there's any restriction on USDA money that it has to be spent first.
Or the
Do you
front,
know
the
whether-
local has to be spent
I don't know.
before the USDA.
I don't know how that works. Do you, Mandy? You have a, I don't have that.
I'm not 100%, but I'm not 100%. But usually it's whatever that you're loan, and then you take up your
Spend the
That
loan
worked out
first.
good.
Yeah. So how much of a loan do you guys get? Is it like like 100 loan and 100?
151 loan,
Yeah, 151, and then we done
99 grand.
99 grand.
And, but Dirk's right, we gotta
Okay.
do something with that building. Once we improve the property, they're gonna want more because it'll make the valuation go up. for the appraisal.
But we might be able to fight that the other way.
And I mean, if he could present us a appraisal that our appraiser would agree with on the price. I mean, we're not asking to steal anything from him, but we don't want to pay like more than what it's worth. But if we fix that place up, that'll make his property go up.
Until it falls on your place, you know.
We hope he's got good insurance. He's got good insurance.
Yeah, we need somebody to rent it, don't we?
Why would you pay tax on something like that? Double tax.
Bobby will answer that.
No, I won't.
Sometimes.
I mean, really, I mean, if it's mine, I'd jerk somebody's arm off at $20,000.
Has anybody approached Jimmy with the drawings that we've seen and
That maybe you should try to involve them, Keith.
yeah?
That's a good idea.
It is a good idea.
I think they need to be invited. I think we'll have a public hearing and let everybody come and comment.
But
I mean, somebody jumped me a few weeks ago and said, why don't you get the public involved? I mean, there's a man asked me less than 30 minutes ago, said, get the public involved. We're all behind this. We want to come and comment on it.
Well, that's a good idea.
And this is right to the mill sections and said, they might loosen them up a little bit.
I talked with the gentleman that owns property right here on Main Street, and he is tickled slam to death. He said, I'm wanting to do more to my property. The front being that the town and county is projecting to want to do something to that town. Because he said, you know, there's no sense in me making mine look pink and everything else is gray. And he's tickled slam to death. He said that just makes my place more attractive.
Well, you look at Teleco and you can see that. When I was a boy, I went down there a lot, and it was all right. But then when the investors come in, and they thought that Dolly was going to put a Dolly wood down there, then they really cleaned them up and got some nice places.
I think we can fix the motor part. But we've got to decide how big of a project we want. It sounds like to me we're getting bigger with the Millsaps building than what we originally
Well, really,
envisioned.
if you, really the thing about the Millsaps building is just getting it out of the picture.
Yeah, if it's just green space and a tree or two.
Parking space.
Yeah, parking space.
And we
They
could
not
just
adding
have
more
the
to it,
commissioners,
but getting
Right.
the beauty of it out of the way.
And you'd have room for expansion if you needed it.
Expansion.
Right. I'd like to see it as big as we can
they
get
could
it.
earmark that.
What do we need to do? Form a committee for this?
Co-op, is this a co-op?
I think so. I think we ought to, you know, I don't think we want 12 or 14 of us on it.
You know, what I would encourage everybody to do, if they've not done it, some of them have been there, is that to Brevard, their concert place they have. It's kind of akin to this. If you get a chance, just go see that. That's a bigger version of what it seems to me like you're talking about here. It's a different place, different community. It's very inaccessible up there. I was amazed at how well it works, but it's worth going to see just to see what something can do.
Another success story along those lines is, and y'all have heard me mention this, is the Earl Scruggs Music Center in Shelby. They're building roads all over Shelby as a result of that music center right now. It's full year-round.
Me and Jackie was going to Raleigh here a while back, and we stopped at Shelby's restaurant, and we got to see that.
Is that right?
And the advertising the restaurant every week, what functions going on. It's amazing.
Ticket sales a year out right
Right
now.
now, barbecue hours.
For the programs.
You know,
So,
Graham County and the town was recognized as what they call a Blue Ridge Music Trail last year. The second part of Old Timers Day goes to the county summer thing, Blue Moon Music Trip. We had it here, which we still wouldn't have to run to do it though. We still wouldn't have to run to do it though, but it brought in Sevierville last year, about $700,000 in 4 days. That's what the motels, it was some kind of fiddling contest and banjo contest. But we've got to have a facility to, a main facility to do it at. We could get back on that.
But you know that event that you was had Saturday, that was unreal. Every time I went by this there, I didn't even stop, but everybody has bragged on it. And I was listening to WLOS this morning, and they have I believe it's in Hendersonville, that they have a Solemn Festival. They start the 10th, 11th, and then the next weekend it is the 17th and 18th. They have it 2 weekends because it's road so big. So these things.
We would like to coordinate a big event every month, 12 months, have an event every month. But, we just don't have a place to do it. We just don't have the facility to do it. But it would be a doable schedule with, we don't want it all with Stickle Valley Center. We want to partner with them to do events there and here. Both places.
So
if we're running as a team, we could do an event over there one day, 2-day event, and then you can have the other one over here the next day, and people will swap. They'll change out. That's the way Black Bear and those do in Sevierville. They do both of those. One will have them one day, and one will have the next, and it brings a lot into the community.
So do we need it for any other committees? Or is this too many, too few? And how do we get a start on getting a model of this built and getting something in the paper for everybody to get excited about?
Well, I think we should have a public meeting.
Public hearing?
Have it, yeah.
Oh, that'd be great.
We'll start with that, don't you think?
We need to talk to the girls if y'all are comfortable using them for the model, and they've done enough work. Probably they can throw in a little too. I know they won't care to.
But if it was just the front model, it would be unreal what the people would see.
If you have a public hearing, though, they're going to feel compelled to make their presentation look better than what we've seen so
Exactly
far.
right.
You're right.
Yeah, I'd like to see the outdoor gardens in the back of it, and the walkways, and the farmers market back there.
So do we need to get the model put together before the public hearing so we can have it on display?
Yes.
Whatever they would, I think you would tell them this is what you want to do and say what you suggest we do in order to get ready for this public meeting.
Yeah.
Okay. Need
But
something for
put a
people
little
to
of the monkey
see.
on the hill, and they'll do a good job.
They will.
They will.
Okay. You contact.
Mayor, either one.
They're not going to know me from Alex House Cat.
I will. I don't care.
Okay. Good. And
If y'all do get a chance to go to Clay County, they've got a pavilion over there too.
Oh, okay.
But go on Saturday.
where is it? Is it down at those ball fields around there?
I'm not sure.
Right there
They tell me.
behind the courthouse, isn't it?
Okay, down
Down
all
below,
below
yeah.
here. Well, that's where all the knee ball fields are, I
They're
believe.
doing what they call trade days, and they just got it started.
Like a flea market?
It's sort of like a flea market, but you can't leave nothing.
Oh, okay.
You don't, and you can't build on it. You just. But there are about 400 people every weekend that they have it showing up right now.
As we continue, everything's gonna leave out of town. The courthouse, we need to keep this uptown, bring it back to life, and we need places out of the weather.
You got to have it covered.
Yeah.
You do.
You go to scheduling events, we got always, is it gonna rain? Like this week, we go, oh no. I heard this, we would have had a big crowd really a lot bigger crowd.
You're exactly right.
And it takes, it takes a lot of work to do one road.
Yeah.
26 hours setting up and
We mean the courthouse.
10 hours tearing them
I
down.
mean, I mean, there's gonna be like, so, I mean, the stuff keep moving around here and there, but I mean, pretty soon it'll be all courthouse or it'll be registered days. I mean, we're gonna grow. I think we'll grow out of the courthouse.
So you're gonna get with
Keep
McKeel.
stuff uptown when you bring town back alive.
And you work with Vendor on that. And then when we, let us know about what the time frame is on that, and then we can schedule a public meeting. Comments open to the public.
Like I say, when we get down to design, y'all gonna be thinking what you need, what you want to put in it.
And you're gonna kind of hold off on talking to the Millsaps until you're ready for the public thing, or talk to them a little?
I think they need to be talked to now, because when you start improving, prices are gonna go up.
Yeah, it sure is. Maybe this is more of a conceptual idea now.
Yeah.
And talking to them. But who is that person that talks to them?
Jackie?
I think that might do more than anybody, I think.
Okay.
Anything can be done.
Connie, also, there might be some extra help there too with Sarah Thompson last night.
Yes.
Because there's nine grants out there that they give out starting in October, I think it is.
Well,
We can't hit
and
a
that
lot.
has to
Can't
do
do it.
Good, yeah.
with
Tobacco trouble.
the economy
Economy,
and
economic
it's
development.
DOT.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And because Jackson was on one that gained any last year
Right.
because nobody else applied.
No, they didn't. And Jack Debnam,
Mm-hmm.
the road commissioner, will come and talk to us at any time
Right.
about that. So town or county or conglomerate of all
Mm-hmm.
I
towns
want
and
somebody in
counties.
the county to go with me too.
Okay,
Who?
choose somebody.
It doesn't matter,
Jackie.
whoever you want to. Keith, you go with me?
I could.
Well, let's just pick a day and go talk to them pretty quick.
That's something I can't do is pick a day. I don't know what day I'm going for.
What'd you give Keith? When he's got his calendar in front of him, Jackie? Okay.
Some of you would have to be today.
That'd probably be better on Jimmy's side too. Anyway, I think he deals with Arthur during the day a lot. But I mean,
They put offer in nursing home?
Yeah, I think it said it was up nursing home. Well, that's what one board, I don't know if it's just for a short time. Did he follow Keith or something like that?
Yeah, I think you failed at the house.
I think he fell at the house, and it might.
Probably 30 days.
I know they was having a rough time there for a while because of their schedule keeping somebody with him back 3 or 4 months ago.
But you, changing the subject on the urgent care, we didn't, well, neither of them has got the money to do the study. And the study has to be done before the grant's applied for. And that will be pretty certain. Everybody knows how needful it is.
And that sure be a shot in the arm for them. Oh my goodness.
We'd like to have George's support on it. I'd like to have George's support on us building a jail somewhere. It's going to take a lot, probably more from building the jail than any of the rest of this stuff we've been talking about, because it's hard to get a grant to do it, but you know how many trips they make, how much it costs the county to keep them somewhere else. We're not wanting a big jail. We like 30 beds or so, and let's stop that. That open the bottom of this courthouse up to straighten it up, clean it up, putting offices in there. am for moving the courthouse out of town. That's my opinion. That's the last landmark we've got in Snyder's and Stecoa, and we deal with it, and really we can't do away with it because it's on the National Register of History, and I don't want to see it leave town. That's my opinion, and I know there's work needs to be done, and hopefully we can do that, but we want to work together. We don't want no, we ain't gonna agree on everything. Bobby likes one kind of dog and I like another, so, you know, we ain't gonna agree on everything, but we can agree or not agree and still go on.
The citizens of Graham County.
We all want what's best for the county, the town,
That's
or
right.
whatever.
The towns and the county and the counties and, the towns, the town, county seat, and I think we need to work together. And I think we've got the two boards that can do it. And I would like to add to Dirk and his family, David, that we appreciate everything that they do.
Yes.
I got to tell Avis the other day and thank her for everything that earned Ted. People just don't realize really what Ted Davis has done for him, and Dirk and his family has done.
Okay, so do we want to whittle this crowd down or keep the same ones until we see we've got too many, get the model in?
Whittle down.
Like I say, I wasn't saying there's too many of us. If y'all, I mean, it's totally up.
Well, if I wasn't invited, I'd want to know what went on anyway.
I
There's one volunteer.
So I'm feeling, I think every member of this board is so interested and committed to this that it's imperative that we stay in the groove and keep moving forward with it.
Well, since David Hyde ain't here, I'll make a motion that we put him on this committee.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There you
Bring it.
Yeah, I do too. And I think David will be your money saver
Is that a
if
gentleman?
everything goes through him. But he-
Invite him to the next meeting.
We need to ask him, see if he'll sit on it first, but
And
I'm
then we'll
thinking.
see the the results.
You know what I'd tell him, Steve?
Withdraw.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Have you ever heard that?
work on the model, you'll have the meeting, and then you'll call another meeting.
Yep.
How's that? Okay?
Okay.
Sounds
All right.
good.
My brother and I will leave.